How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Talking Wolves for a brand new video here today on the channel. It's another transfer update. Apologies that we've not really had any of these for the past 7 days or so. I have been away, still am away, but wanted to get one of these out for you guys. If you hear any background noise, I can hear the little birds chirping outside, but please ignore it. But today we've got plenty of transfer news to go through. It's been still fairly steady on the transfer rumours front. Nothing with much juice in just yet, but obviously some of these transfers could just be the start of something moving, hopefully, for Wolves. If you haven't already, make sure you hit the like button down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new for, obviously, the transfer rumours and Wolves news over this summer. And before we kick off, make sure you go and check out our channel partners over at One Football. Really good football app to check out. I'll make sure I leave the link to it in the description down below. They've really helped out me personally and the Talking Wolves channel as well. Live scores, live football news, live transfer gossip on there as well. And you can select Wolves as your favourite team when downloading the app, as I say, down in the description. So, first things first, well, there's quite a few to go through. So let's start off with the first one. A few days ago, it was reported by L'Equipe, a big paper over in France. They reported that Wolves were going to be sending representatives to a meeting in Egypt, along with Ligue 1 side Angers or Angers. I think it's Angers. Maybe I'm just looking a bit too much into it. Obviously, they are off to Egypt because the African Cup of Nations is currently going on to discuss a move for the 27-year-old forward Stefan Bahoken. Basically, Wall, obviously, he's in Egypt for the African Cup of Nations. His representatives are obviously over there as well. He's currently representing Cameroon, that's his nation, and he actually went and scored in their opening game of the African Cup of Nations just after coming off the bench as well. Now, if you look at this guy on paper, his record is not great. He's had spells at St Mirren. He's had spells in lower league French football, really. It's only the last 2 years where he's had spells in Ligue 1, the top division of France. And to be honest, previous to the last 2 years, his record isn't fantastic. He's struggled He scored goals, but he's never been prolific. Up until the last 2 years, where he scored for, I think it's Strasbourg, his old team, who were obviously a lower team in Ligue 1, and Angers as well, who aren't a top team in France. And he's got double figures both seasons. So I don't think that's a bad return. Obviously, he's a little bit older. Very interesting that obviously Wolves, this report says that Wolves are sending people over. It'll be interesting to keep our eye on this one. Leicester are also said to be interested in him. Interesting one with Lucas Toussaint from Lyon, another player in Ligue 1 for Lyon. Really talented young midfielder, 22 years of age. It said that Wolves are going to be battling into Milan to try and sign him this summer. That came from Calcio Mercato, really talented young central midfielder, so it'll be interesting to keep our eyes on that one. In regards to another central midfielder, Amadou Diawara, it said last week in Sky Sports Italy that he had rejected the opportunity to join Wolves for the time being. He's still waiting on a potential offer from Roma. Interesting, this one. Obviously, when we posted it, a lot of people were saying, well, leave him, he's rejected us, let's move on. But I think it's happened a couple of times with Wolves in the last few years. I think Willy Bolly, it took a little bit of convincing for him to join, and a couple of other players as well. So it wouldn't surprise me if we went back for this one. Diawara is a very talented young midfielder as well, so we'll have to keep our eyes on that one. Moving on to Rafa Mir, there's been a lot of stories on Rafa Mir over in Spain at the moment. He's wanted by a number of Spanish clubs. I think on the last transfer video we spoke about him maybe being linked with Granada. Obviously, he's a talented youngster. I don't think he's quite the level that Wolves will be looking at, to be honest. But at the same time, I think he'd be a good option for the early Europa League stages for Wolves. But it said that Real Zaragoza, a team in the second division of Spain, are looking to sign him. However, the wages is something they would struggle to afford. It was a paper from Spain. Is it El Periódico de Aragon? See, good pronunciation. They claim that Wolves are going to be wanting about 50% of Mir's wage for him to join any club, and that's about £10,000 a week. He's on about 20 grand at the moment a week, but obviously half of it, that Wolves are expecting the clubs to pay about £10,000 a week, which for a team in the second division of Spain isn't quite affordable. He's also been linked with teams like Hull City as well. It'll be interesting to see if Wolves do keep him, if they keep him in England, or if they do move him back out to Spain. It remains to be seen, but he's quite sought after in Spain anyway. A fresh rumour that has come forward today, and another paper have said that Wolves are interested in the Napoli forward Carlos Vinicius. He's been out on loan to Rio Ave in Portugal and Monaco last year. He's a young striker. Again, goal scoring record not unbelievable, but still a decent looking forward. It'll be interesting to see if Wolves keep their eye on this one. Jorge Mendes apparently looking at brokering the move for about £20 million, and I think he's got experience in Portugal in Rio Ave, which was Nuno's old team. He's got experience with Monaco, who are very much a Jorge Mendes client. So this one does sort of make sense. It'll be interesting to see if anything comes to fruition from that one. Another one, Ivan Perisic, obviously the Inter Milan, the Croatian. We spoke about him last time as well. It was said that last week his agent was going to be meeting the board at Inter Milan to discuss the Croatian's future. Wolves were one of the teams that were linked with the 30-year-old alongside Arsenal, West Ham and Leicester. I also saw another report saying that he had rejected quite a lucrative offer from China because he wants to stay in Europe and preferably the Premier League. I think Arsenal probably do have the upper hand on Wolves, but Wolves obviously can offer European football as well over West Ham and Leicester, so it'll be interesting to see how that one goes. And obviously definitely a talented player and would be the marquee signing of this summer if it were to go through for Wolves. No real news on Helder Costa at the moment. That seems to have slowed down a little bit, but I think Leeds are just waiting for another big deal to go through. I think Jack Clark, He's going to Tottenham. So once they get a little bit of money, and obviously the players are coming back for pre-season at the end of this week, it'll be interesting to see if anything pushes forward from that. But Aston Villa have emerged as another favourite to sign Helder Costa. On Sky Bet, as of a few days ago, they were equal odds on to sign Helder Costa, level with Leeds United. So I've not checked the odds over the last couple of days or so. They may have just gone straight back down. But as of a few days ago, Aston Villa were joint favourites to sign Helder Costa. And another big one is regarding Edson Alvarez, the Mexican defender we've been linked with for a few weeks now. There have been a few updates of this. Obviously, he's currently with Mexico at the Gold Cup. But yesterday in Record, which is a newspaper, there was a report about Edson Alvarez basically saying his transfer to a European club is done, although as long as there is no sort of injuries during the Gold Cup. So as long as he comes back fit after the Gold Cup, this transfer to a European side will go through. Now, Alvarez has been linked with Wolves, Ajax, PSV and Celtic. Wolves seem to be the favourites. But, when we posted this, there were a lot of people saying, no, he'll go to Ajax or whatever. But it was then by a journalist, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, verified on Twitter, fair amount of followers. Someone had asked him about which club it would be, and he said Wolves. Obviously, with the links to Raul Jimenez, I think Wolves are really going to be pushing now, maybe North American, South American, bringing these players in, and he's definitely got the talent as well. We'll probably do a full video on him if those rumours get a little bit more solid. But it looks like Edson Alvarez could be a Wolves player, depending. Obviously, that is not going to be announced until Mexico exit or maybe even go on to win the Gold Cup. However, it was then said by Joe Edwards at Express and Star that there is nothing in it. So I don't know who to believe at the moment on the Edson Alvarez front, but it'll be interesting to see. And to finish off, Wolves have recently signed 2 young players, obviously bolstering the under-18s. They've signed a 16-year-old French midfielder, Daylam Meda. He came from Le Havre. He'll be joining the under-18s next season. And another youngster, 16-year-old Eric Bougarin. He's joined from Celta Vigo. Nothing has been officially announced by Wolves yet, but I know definitely Bougarin has joined because he's followed us on Instagram and we've been talking to him on Instagram as well. So he's definitely joined. I've seen pictures of him at the training ground. Maybe I'll put them on the screen now for you as well. But guys, there are all the rumours for the time being. Hopefully I've gone through all of them. No, I haven't. There is one more. One more is Robert Skov. He was linked with Wolves a number of months ago. I think we probably said it on a video as well. Copenhagen striker, winger rather, not a striker, he's a forward, quite attacking winger, and he's got a ridiculously good goal record over in Denmark last season in particular. I think maybe if Wolves bring him in, he could potentially do similar to what they did with Jota, sort of transferring him over from a wing player to a striker. But obviously, I think that sort of versatility is what Wolves need. Ideally, will want to be playing that 5-3-2 next season. But obviously, if things do go pear-shaped, similar to last season, and Nuno wants to revert to a different formation, you've got the versatility of Robert Skov there. He said that Wolves, Spurs and Celta Vigo are very interested in the Danish winger Skov. So it'll be interesting to see what happens on that front. But that is all now. I have finished, I promise. Be sure to hit the like button down below, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, as I said earlier on. Go and check out our social medias as well. There's always a link to those in the description down below. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. In my opinion, we push the Wolves news out before anybody else on social media. I'm normally pretty quick on it. And if it's not reliable or there's nothing in it, I don't normally post it. So be sure to check it out, all the decent rumours. There's been something about Memphis Depay. I'm not going to report on it because there have been a load of articles based on it purely because of the odds. There's no story in it. So I'm not going to report on that unless there is solid rumours in Depay to Wolves. Anyway, guys, I'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching again, and I'll see you soon.